Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by Logic Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in his meeting is blooper. Handelabra believes in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively work against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. And with that, let's begin. Hello, Jesta. Oh, I haven't set this up actually. My bad. We're doing 2 boards, any complexity, random adversary, no supporting adversary, playing France this time, varied terrains of the scenario, and the spirits that I want is shadows, amorphous, as well as lightning immense. Okay, those are... I'm just going through the spirits that I've played least with, just to up my statistics. All right, so we played varied terrains last week, so for a summary of it, the island's terrains are diverse, the mists and streams of high mountains, the arid scrub of hot sands, river valleys and swamps, jungle trees towering high. The invaders have reason to seek all these places out, but each has its own character. This scenario is notably easier for spirits with very good build prevention in jungles and wetlands, e.g. a spread of rampant green. This scenario is notably harder with adversaries that cause many builds, e.g. the Kingdom of England. We're not playing England this time, no, because we hit random and we got France. Rules changes. Each terrain has a unique effect associated with it. Mountains may hide gold, add +1 explore when exploring mountains, including during setup if appropriate. Jungles clear cut for land. After invaders build one or more city in a jungle, add a blight there. Fragile sands. After setup, blight added to sands cascades as if blight were already present even when it is not. And fertile wetlands. After invaders successfully build in a wetland, they build there a second time. And we'll come back to this after I go through everything else. So these 2 spirits, as I said, least played on my end. Not because shadows and lightning themselves are least played, with these aspects I've not played that much with. So shadows flicker like flame. Amorphous. Setup. Put 3 presents on your starting board, 2 in the highest numbered jungle and 1 in land number 5. Special rules. Shadows partake of amorphous space. During each fast phase, you may move 1 of your presents to an adjacent land or a land with Dahan anywhere on the island. During each slow phase, you may move 1 of your presents to an adjacent land or to a land with Dahan anywhere on the island. So, this replaces the original innate rule, Shadows of the Dahan, where I can target a land with Dahan regardless of the power range by spending 1 energy. This time I can move my presence once during the slow phase, once during the fast phase, range 1, or to a land with Dahan anywhere. So that kind of lets me target lands with Dahan without spending energy. Might put me at risk of losing a presence to Blight, but lets me target range 0 very easily, which is nice. I think everything else is the same. Growth option 1, reclaim cards, gain power card. Number 2, gain a power card, add presence at range 1. Number 3, add a presence at range 3, gain 3 energy. We start at 0 energy per turn and 1 card play per turn, going up to 6 energy and 5 card plays. The innate power is Darkness Swallows the Unwary. At 2 moon, 1 fire, gather 1 explorer. At 3 moon, 2 fire, destroy 1 of the 2 explorers, 1 fear per explorer destroyed. And at 4 moon, 3 fire, 2 air, 3 damage, 1 fear per invader destroyed by the damage. And then our power cards, which are all the same. No changes there. We also have Immense Lightning Swift Strike. So, special rules. Oh, sorry. Setup. Put 2 presents on your starting board in the highest numbered sands. And then Swiftness of Lightning. For every air you have, you may use 1 slow power as if it were fast, power cards, or your innate powers. And an immense spirit towering and slow. Playing power cards during the spirit phase costs 2 card plays instead of 1. So if you have 3 card plays, you'll only be able to play 1 power card. But if you have any unused card plays at the end of the spirit phase, gain 1 element of your choice. And for each I can't speak. For each major power you play, gain 2 different elements of your choice. And it doesn't say it directly here, but we also gain double the energy. So looking at the base, we start at 1 energy and 2 card plays, but with Immense, we have 2 energy and 2 card plays, but counts as 1. Goes up to 10 energy and 6 card plays counting as 3. But if we have any unused card plays, we gain 1 element of our choice. And it just says any, it doesn't say for each. So we can only get 1 element at most from this, but for major powers, we gain 2 different elements of our choice. Of course, granting us, or making us want to pick major powers more frequently, doesn't it? Growth options are the same. Number 1, reclaim cards, gain a power card, gain 1 energy. Number 2, add a presence at range 2, add a presence at range 0. Number 3, add a presence at range 1 and gain 3 energy. Our innate power is still Thundering Destruction. At 3 fire, 2 air, destroy 1 town. At 4 fire, 3 air, you may instead destroy a city. At 5 fire, 4 air, 1 water, also destroy a building. And at 5 fire, 5 air, 2 water, also destroy a building. And all of these powers are the same as well. So, energy is easier to come by, card plays a lot harder to come by, and of course it seems as if we want to pick major powers. Makes sense, right? Major powers are good powers. Yeah, so makes sense. And then France. Additional loss conditions, sprawling plantations. There is a limit of 7 towns per starting board. Invaders win if you ever cannot place a town. Escalation, demand for new cash crops. After exploring on each board, pick a land of the shown terrain. If it has buildings, add a blight, otherwise add a town. And the game effects, Frontier Explorers, except during setup, after invaders successfully explore into a land which had no buildings, add an explorer there. Slave Labor, during setup, put the Slave Rebellion event under the top 3 cards of the event deck. After invaders build in a land with 2 explorers or more, replace all but 1 explorer there with an equal number of towns. Slave Rebellion is this card right here. Basically, we would like to have towns and lands with Dahan, because invaders with Strife will take damage per Dahan present. And any building that gets destroyed, we replace it with a Dahan, basically. And then early plantations, during setup on each board, add a town to the highest numbered land without towns, and add a town to land number 1. We have 11 cards in the Fear deck, distributed at 4, 4, and 3. So difficulty 7 for France, plus 2 for varied terrains. And now that we've read the France card, obviously if they explore into a mountain that has no buildings, they add an explorer from France and also add an explorer from Mountains May Hide Gold, which means there'll be 3 explorers in there, 2 of which will turn into towns with the build. So we'll end up with 3 towns and 1 explorer. Other than that, I mean, fertile wetlands, obviously, like, they will build twice, but the second build isn't going to also trigger, like, I mean, say there was 2 explorers in here and they build twice, then the first build is a town and they convert 1 of the 2 explorers into a town. The second build will be a city, but there's not extra explorers, so it won't convert more towns. It will just be a city, 2 towns, and 1 explorer, which is still a lot, but not super bad for France. Building cities in a jungle. I mean, France adds lots of towns with their first build, so having a second build in the jungle is more easily likely to happen unless we can clear the towns faster. And then sands cascading as if they already had blight. Yeah, if they build in the sands with many towns and it's hard to get rid of the towns, then that blight is more likely to happen, which means the cascade is more likely to happen. But none of these are going to make the loss easier to come by, other than maybe, obviously, blight means we advance the blight card faster. But unlike England last week, where like 2 of these were really bad effects, the double build in wetlands screwed us because they double built like 3 times in 1 turn and we lost the game. Shouldn't have an immediate loss from France in that regard, but we'll see. Anything can happen. Let's play. First, explorers in the jungles. So remember, the jungle rule is that if they build a city in the jungle, that adds a blight. Jungle's clear cut for land, which means that we already have 2 places where there's going to be blight added, as well as the standard builds here. Okay. So what shall we do first? I'm kind of looking at lightning more because I think that this rule change definitely changes how we approach lightning the most. So you kind of have to think about this very carefully. Normally, you would love to just spam card plays. Like, get to 4 card plays on turn 1, play your hand, except you can't, obviously. My normal growth one would be, or first growth would be double presence to get the 2 energy per turn, playing only 1 card, and then the next turn, presence and energy to get the 3 card plays, playing my hand, being able to use my innate power to destroy a town. But it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that. Probably want to get to 2 card plays, which means I'll do double presence for card plays. If I do that, then it's most likely going to be Harbingers and Shatter Homesteads. It's not going to leave me with any extra unused card plays, so we're not going to get our innate for town destruction. But Shatter Homesteads is good, as it will block the build and, or it will destroy the town E7. They will rebuild a town, but at least it won't be a city. I don't know that we'll be able to then destroy the titty. The titty. No. Destroy the city. Oh, dear Lord. Destroy the city. Or not the city. Not even the city. Why am I saying city? We won't be able to destroy the town next turn, per se. Unless I do another card play growth. I might need to hit the plus energy button for that. But if I do that, then I will have an extra card play. I can gain an element of my choice, which would be fire, because all these cards give me fire air, and I would be able to destroy a town. So that's the thought. Just spam card plays track to get an unused card play. On the reclaim turn, I'm most likely thinking I'm going to gain a major power. Because like Raging Storm is not really that helpful for lightning. 3 energy is a lot for 1 damage to each invader, and replacing that with a major is probably going to vastly improve the game. I can gain 2 different elements of my choice, which should help me get my innates or trigger the thresholds on the major. And probably from there, just keep gaining majors, honestly. Like every turn, every other turn, reclaim, gain major, replace my starter deck with things, go up energy track to afford the majors, probably. That's my thought. I have no idea what the meta is. That's just my thought here. So to do that, my first growth needs to be double presence to get to 4 card plays. And you just have 2 presence, right? Yeah. So it's probably good to get this. Probably E5 is the best bet, as that's range 1 Sacred Site on my entire starter board. And then if I do this, Shatter Homesteads could obviously destroy the town here. So that's going to turn into just a standard build. We can do this fast because of our special rule. We also have Dahan pushing, which it's a little early to think about Slave Rebellion, but obviously this is a Dahan pushing card. Anything that pushes Dahan, you should think about what to do with Slave Rebellion down the road. All right, now for shadows. We can move presence during the slow phase and the fast phase, but other than that, this is basically standard shadow. Unfortunately, we can't stop the city build in A8. The only way we could stop it is if instead of using Shatter Homesteads, I played Lightning Spoon, but if I do that, then I don't have Shatter Homestead, so I can't destroy the town in E7. So it's a question of which is worse, the city build in E7 or the city build in A8. I mean, pretty much wherever they do put that city down, it's going to be hard to defend next turn anyway, because there will already be a blight there, which will result in a cascade. And unfortunately, we don't have any powers here that will immediately deal with that. We can downgrade and push and explore in a town, but we can't, you know, stop the resulting town from ravaging. We could stop either A3 or E3's builds pretty easily. We will need to have a Sacred Site range 1 to gather one of these out, but I guess like E3 could already be gathered in A5, for instance, but tricky. Is it worth doing a power card on turn 1? I normally just click energy here, as I would like to get the 2 card plays on turn 1, but with 0 energy innate, it's difficult to play any cards other than Concealing Shadows, which you don't want to play on turn 1, really. Obviously the Sacred Site's going, like one of these presents is going to get destroyed, but I can just move this presence during the fast phase and save, I guess, the Sacred Site at A5. But, I don't know. Probably just gonna have to use Crops Wither or Mantle of Dread. We could maybe generate a lot of fear, and maybe the fear card would help us with A8. Maybe converting the city won't be super helpful. So let's click this, and we'll have the Sacred Site A5 with the Presence movement, and that's range 1 over here. So maybe like range 1 here is the next best thing to consider. So let's put Presence there. And then maybe play these. I guess keeping the Fire card for next turn will be helpful, as we'll still be able to use Darkness Swallows. We're going to stop one of these 2 builds. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the other. So finish playing cards. Shatter that town. Don't need to use Harbingers yet. The fear is not going to matter. There's no Ravage this turn, so it's useful to think about where we want that Dahan next turn, after the Explorer or something. This Explorer... Probably just going to do Concealing Shadows A3, since I'm already there and I can then vacate it. So let's gather this Explorer into A7 and then move the Presence over to A5 to preserve the Sacred Site, and then not use Harbingers. Alright, so then Jungle build, putting that Blight down. They explore Sands. So Sands is annoying, as that rule is that Blight added to Sands cascades as if Blight were already present. So any Ravage that deals damage to the land that's 2 or more will be a Blight. Rough. Okay. Yeah, so our plan is probably Concealing Shadows A3. A8 is a problem and I don't know how to solve it. Maybe I say I put Dahan in A8 and it's gonna cascade, but killing everything in there could be helpful. This is gather or is it push? It's gather, so I could gather 3 Dahan here. And then Dahan will not outnumber invaders though, so it won't be 3 fear, so that's not actually helpful. I mean, I could move my presence back in there and then Mantle of Dread myself, take these guys out that I can. Maybe just leave it in my land. Maybe the wetlands isn't the best bet. Mountain was just plus explore, so maybe I just leave them in the mountains as plus explorer there is not actually that bad. I mean, having that town there prevents France from putting an extra explorer there anyway. Now, if I do favors called due here, that does give me 3 fear, but I can't Concealing Shadows both A8 and A3. I guess we do have Crops Wither. Because we might be playing Lightning's Boon next turn, probably. 4 energy is a lot, actually. Oh, but we can't afford it if I do double growth that way. I said I was going to do this. Oh, but yeah, +3. Okay, no, yeah, I can afford it with growth option 3. Kind of inclined to just push this Dahan into E1. Potential setup for Slave Rebellion, but I mean, we will need something to deal with the resulting things there anyway. Raging Storm E6 is probably best bet. That stops that build, avoids that Ravage from having issues. Okay, so let's do this then. Range 1 Presence. Probably E3's best. That sees A4, A5, A7. And I have extra energy and I have extra card plays, so I can select. This is at the end of the Spirit phase, so I can get a fire for Town Destruction that will solve that Ravage. And then Raging Storm solves that, and then I have a Lightning Spoon. So I think we're going to click Power Card here. A Defend card would be really good. And we're probably just going to go up Energy Track unless it's a 0 energy card, in which case I can play my hand, but then the replays, or the reclaimed turn's going to stink. So I guess we're doing this. This costs 0 energy. It's honestly like off the power progression deck, so thematic, I guess. And honestly, it's pretty good. If I have Lightning's Boon, I can do Crops Wither and Shadows fast. And that would target Mountain, or sorry, it would target Jungle A3, so I could push the Explorer in town out. Like, it's perfect. Literally perfect. Other options would be, I mean, Rights to the Land's Rejection is elements. Targeting a land with Dahan, do not build and target land. Which is not really any of these sands right now. Or is it going to be? Range 2 Sacred Site, it's not really that good either. I guess potentially I could do Presence E4, move my Presence from A3 into E4 and target E1 with that. But Call to Trade prevents a Ravage, so this would not cascade. I would just say A8 builds instead of Ravaging. But yeah, these aren't really the best, but it would mean A3 doesn't blight if I click Shadows, and it's 0 energy. And then I also would be able to use Darkness Swallows to destroy 2 Explorers for more fear. Okay, so I could vacate A8 into A5. Oh, I didn't move my Presence last turn, did I? Did I? No, I moved it back into A8, didn't I? Okay, so do this because if I play this hand, I could move this Presence from A8 into A5 after using Concealing Shadows in there. So like this blows up Cascades, which stinks, but I can prevent this from blighting, and we're good all around. Extra element here is fire, as we said. Concealing Shadows there. Thundering Destruction here. Raging Storm here. Lightning Spoon here. push Explorer Town out from here. I mean, Explorer could stay. If I have to push it? I do, okay. I guess A2. Crops wither. I mean, converting the city into a town in A8 doesn't really do anything other than makes it easier to defend if we had to defend one. This town with Explorer. Obviously, would let it be gathered by darkness swallows better. Either way, I can't really stop the A4 build. I guess I could move my presence A8 into A7, turn this town into an explorer. And that way there's not going to be a city here. That might be better. So let's move you there. Oh, but then I can't... Oh, but I... Range 1 sacred site. I don't actually have the range there unless I move this presence over here. Another thought, although I don't really like it, is that this explorer, if it goes to a land that's not adjacent to A4, it can't be gathered with darkness. But the problem is A2, A4, and E4 are still adjacent to A4. The only option would be E6. Oh, but I Raging Stormed there. Okay, never mind. I got it. I did this in the wrong order. So do this. Push this explorer here, town somewhere else, and then I can Raging Storm there. And that's more useful, because then I can Darkness Swallows. And I'm not gathering, but I am stopping that build outright. And then I prevent the city build in A7. Arset 2 fear cards, which is really good. Before I commit to that, though, because if I do this, it is going to put 3 towns in here. Like, I'm not really getting rid of this town, per se. It's more that I'm preventing a city. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. Because we 3 explorers, they build a town, replace 2 of these with 2 towns. I mean, I guess it's, like, kind of replacing the city with a town. in a lot of steps. Which is interesting. I mean, I could also move this presence into E1, because I can move it to a land with Dahan anywhere, not just push it to an adjacent land. I could put an E8, and then I stop interland visibility on board E. That's also tempting. Ooh. Well, the next explorer is either wetlands or mountains. And if it's an explorer in E8, it's still, like, technically explored. But it's probably still better to get rid of this city that's going to be put here, as it's harder to get rid of cities. Alright. 2 fear cards in the event. Numinous Crisis. Really early Numinous Crisis. Holy moly. The spiritual energy of the island weakens as life's connections grow ever more tattered. You may draw strength from it while you can, or pour your strength into the island. You draw strength from it while you can. Remove one player. One blight. Remove one player. Remove one player. Oh, man. Remove 1 blight per player from the blight card. Then, if the blight card is not flipped, keep removing blight until it flips. Gain 3 energy per blight removed, divided as evenly as possible among all spirits. Or we pour your strength into the island. Each spirit either pays 3 energy, forgets 2 power cards, or returns a presence to their presence tracks. Add blight per spirit to the blight card from the box. We also have plagues bring fear and death. 1 fear per board with disease. On each board, 2 damage to Dahan and a land with disease. And careful defense when invaders ravage. If the land has Dahan, defend 2. So defend 2 means A8 is now solved. Good job. Also A through is also solved, but details. Removing 4 blight is 12 energy. 6 for each. Like, yeah. It means that major powers on lightning are never an issue. Putting 2 extra blight on here for safety, but that's really expensive right now. Neither of us have 3 energy. Forgetting 2 power cards when you only have 4 is very difficult. Returning presence, the presence tracks. I would like to not do that either. I mean, lightning probably could do it okay. Like, I mean, you would not get the plus element on the next play, but I guess that's kind of big, as that's getting us thunder and destruction though. But it has to be draw strength. Like 12 energy early on is so strong, and we are going to flip the blight card, but surely knowing what the blight card is more useful. So draw strength. Once Healthy Island has become blighted, thriving communities immediately on each board in 4 different lands with Explorer Town. Replace town with city or replace Explorer with town. Okay. Immediately on each board in 4 different lands. I mean, it's actually happening in pretty much every land. This. I'm honestly more inclined to replace this town with the city. This got undid. Okay. That. This ravage is not solved anymore. I mean, it doesn't really matter there. We have 6 energy each. 1 fear per board with disease, 2 damage to Dahan, so this Dahan's dead. And defend 2. So, skip all explore actions and lands with at least 2 Dahan. Dahan threatened, each player adds strife and a land with Dahan. Okay, so this is a blade. Honestly, this is a slave rebellion consideration, I believe. I mean, there's not very many options anyway. This city's actually not blighting. The other Dahan on this board, A3's empty. On board E, E3's empty. We lost the Dahan that was an A2 also, by the way. So like strifing that. So what we're gonna want to do is to have this E8 place result in the city getting converted. Mountains explore. Okay. Plus explore because of varied terrains. And the only thing we can do is move this presence. Okay. So Sands Ravage. That's an issue. That's a big issue. But we're getting major powers. Surely the major powers will help. And then, as I said, E8, we're going to want to be very careful of with the Slave Rebellion. Slave Rebellion is turn 4. So, like, we have the event next turn and then a turn after that, which means that the only Ravage that's happening before that point is the Sands Ravage. So the city here, this strife is going away, but the strife in E8 is staying. But there's only 2 Dahan in that land, so the city's not dying to Slave Rebellion, as they only take 1 damage per Dahan present. But if we were to use Raging Storm there next turn, or the subsequent turn rather, that would be really good. Unfortunately, I said it was forgetting Raging Storm, but I might have to change my mind on that. In any case, what am I gonna put this presence? It's a lot of towns that are gonna be put in mountains, by the way. 8 towns. But we're not losing to towns, at least. Except for maybe the escalation. Both of us are gaining majors for sure. Forgetting a unique is a little better than forgetting a not unique, as uniques can be gotten back more easily. Concealing Shadows is generally really good, though. Favors Call Due will be good. Mantle of Dread might be less good. What if I get Jungle Hungers? Now that I got Shadows of the Burning Forest, is this now a Jungle Hungers game? I think I'm just going to move this presence over to A5 for now. Because that's range 1 visibility on my entire board for Sacred Sites. Alright, so I'm just going to see if I get Jungle Hungers here. Nope. Okay. Nope. This power ignores health bonuses. Um, 12 fear away from Terra level 2. Lightning's also gaining a major. Unlock the gates? Ooh. Is there any world where we get the threshold on that? I don't think so. We can only get 3 extra elements. I mean, not yet, but I mean, yes, down the road. Grant Hatred would have kind of been nicer on Shadows, but... Draw towards a consuming void. Explore town, city, Dahan, beasts, and presence from each adjacent land. 4 fear, 15 damage, 5 damage to Dahan. Destroy a presence from each spirit. Destroy 2 beasts. Forget a minor, a major, and a unique to perform the above effects again. But only if you have no other power cards in play. Which we also don't have any other major powers. I assume you have to be able to forget each of those in order to be able to do it. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to forget a major power. Oh, I don't have any. Haha. I could be wrong. I'm just thinking of how good it would be to do it in E5. Three, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. No, I wouldn't. I can gather all of E1. I can only gather city and explore from E2. Gather this town. 3, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so it kills everything that gathers into that land. Let's think about that. Okay, so back to Shadows. Terrifying Nightmares is probably the best choice. Let's think about that. So Moonfire is our priority. Moon's slightly higher. So the two options would therefore be Terrifying Nightmares and Twisted Flowers. Twisted Flowers, actually, we almost could get it, the threshold on it, with our powers. The 3 plant cards also grant Moon, but we don't get extra air, so we don't actually hit that threshold. It does add a Strife, which is useful for Slave Rebellion. And hopefully our fear generation is good enough that we do get the Terror level 2 effect. So like I'm thinking we're gonna do Twisted Flowers plus Favors Called Dew. We're not gonna hit the threshold in Darkness Swallows tier 2 if we do that. But we could gather the Dahan from A8 into A6, Strife the city. Assuming we can remove 2 invaders, remove 2 towns. And then Slave Rebellion will take care of the city. Actually, I scratched that. I will take out an explorer in a town and convert... Well, I guess there's going to be 3 towns in here, so there will still be a candidate for the Strife in a land with Dahan effect. Terrifying Nightmares doesn't actually do much right now because every land has a city in it thanks to the Blade card. Inspire the release of stolen lands, gather up to 3 Dahan, remove up to 3 health worth of invaders per Dahan, but only a land without Blade. So I could gather the Dahan in the A6 and remove 3 health of invaders, which isn't that many. I guess the threshold is more helpful. Target lands with Blight. If Dahan are present, remove Blight from target land, then remove an explored town and city from a land with range 1 to target land. Rumbling Earthquakes, ignore health bonuses, 3 fear, 6 damage to building only, 6 damage among adjacent lands to buildings only. If you have 4 earth, 6 damage among adjacent lands and target lands to buildings only. That is a lot of damage. 6 damage to buildings only in the land, and then 6 damage among adjacent lands to buildings only. Pretty much takes care of all the towns in A1 and A6. Major issue is that it doesn't grant Moon. I feel like Twisted Flowers will be better. Is this helpful? Mountain Jungle? Maybe. I'll click Twisted Flowers, and then I think we said Mantle of Dread might be the least useful one. Play those 2, and then we want the fire one. Concealing Shadows isn't going to do much. We have nothing for A7, by the way. Blight added the Sands Cascades as if Blight was already present, which stinks. Also, this uses up all of my energy. All the energy from the event. But next turn, probably gain power card, hope that it's free, go up the energy track, and then... I don't know, it's going to be really hard to play Twisted Flowers again if I do that. Maybe I don't do 3 card plays next turn, I just click +3 energy and I work on energy for the rest of the game. Maybe. If I gain a power card and I get no options that are 0 energy, then this one is useless. Okay, back to this. So, unlock the gates, obviously, could be really good with this version of Lightning as playing a major. For each major you play, you gain 2 different elements of my choice. So, like, I can hit the threshold here, like, super easily. Do I lose the game if I do that, though? There's only 7 Blight on the card, by the way. Draw afterwards a Consuming Void is very powerful for solving E5 and E2. And it stops the E1 issue as well. Pretty much if I'm playing Unlock the Gates this turn, I'm going to take a major that will try to solve E2 and E5, I guess. And remember, we wanted to have a damage on E8 somehow, which we're not really getting if I forget Raging Storm. I mean, I assume that we can solve the E1 Ravage very easily. I assume this town is dead to either Shatter Homesteads or Thundering Destruction. Most likely we hit Thundering Destruction. But getting board E cleared out also seems really useful as... I mean, yeah, there's the Escalation, there's the Explorer, and the city still exists. So, like, E6 and E7 are still seen. But after Slave Rebellion, assuming that I can ping the city somehow, or put an extra Dahan in there somehow, this building's gone. And then we can focus our efforts on clearing out board A. I mean, the Escalation actually kind of stinks because it puts buildings in inner lands as if, like with no with no need for anything to be there. I don't know, this is really tough. Unlock the Gates is most likely what I want to do. If I can survive next turn. I'm going to believe I will survive next turn. Probably just fire air. And then I only get one more card play. So I can destroy a city with this. Is it helpful for Lightning Spoon this turn? I don't foresee it being helpful. Let's just make sure we can do Slave Rebellion and then land with a town, I think is more helpful. Currently no valid target for Shadows of the Burning Forest. It's okay. Alright, point of no return. This is absolutely on Lightning. I could even do 3 card plays next turn. Infinite Vitality or Vanish Softly Away Forgotten by All. Remove 1 invader and an Explorer town, or remove all damaged invaders. And any 2 lands with 4 or more invaders, remove 1 invader. Or, plus health to Hans, Blight cannot be added. Yep, Immense and Amorphous. Neither of these are great elements. The air is still helpful for doing slow powers fast. Probably more inclined to do Vanish Softly Away. We could use this to just prevent Blight from being put down. It's fun as we can do that in a Sands, or not Sands, in a... Well, yeah, Sands. But also Jungle, if they build a city. And it stops the blight. I'm just gonna click this and do not forget. Okay. Gather one explorer. Oh, and also things. You know, this town's causing issues still, right? So I'm probably just supposed to use my city destroy to destroy a town instead, as the city's dead anyway. I'm assuming Slave Rebellion's probably going E5 then. I guess I could do E7. Oh, but I need the Dahan in there anyway. So, oh, but I want this. If I push an E5, there's no building in there right now. Let's destroy that town. Gather one explorer is pretty useless. Pretty much only stops one of these towns from being built, which is probably fine. And then wait on that for the slow phase. We could get one fear, but we're not close to a fear card right now. I could still move my presence. I do need to be range 0 from a mountain jungle. Twisted Flowers is targeting A6, and we're getting Dahan in there. We might not get the Terra level 2 in time. I say might. I know exactly if we're gonna get to it or not. Probably just want to go into A6 and like make that a sacred site is probably the best plan. Okay. Missionaries arrive. They teach and spread lessons of a foreign god. You may ignore their contact with the Dahan or curse the tongues of the foreigners. For each board, ignore. Yeah, I can't read today. I'm saying all the wrong words. For each board, discard the top minor power. If it has Sun, push Explorer from a land with Dahan. Otherwise, place a Dahan with Town. After resolving this card, return it to the event deck under the top 2 cards. Curse the tongues of the foreigners. Each spirit adds a disease to a land with city. 2 fear per player. During the next normal ravage, cities do +3 damage. The unfortunate thing... Is it unfortunate? We can't afford that. I was thinking we'd have to forget Twisted Flowers, but actually, no, we don't. You also have Prey on the Aware. Each beast destroys an explorer and add a beast to a board without one. Two fear per player does give us a fear card. Disease to a land with city. I mean, stops one of those two, probably A1. And then doesn't really matter there. City's doing 3 damage, isn't gonna do much. This one's already ravaging and blighting and all that. I'd have to spend all energy off of lightning. We have 2 sun right now. I could forget Twisted Flowers, but that's silly. It only gave me +3 sun, really, relatively. Is it worth losing all of that energy that I just gained? Because then I won't be able to play all of these cards next turn. I would click +3 energy, go up the energy track, but not get plus energy there. Probably not terrible, though, all things said. Ignore their contact is bad though, right? Just because replacing a Dahan with a town is objectively bad. Even though we know where it will be down the road. I'm just gonna curse the tongues. I guess I could forget unlock the gates, but that would also be kind of bad, wouldn't it? Probably disease here. I mean, with the beasts thing, it's only gonna stop one town. Maybe it's better to do A6. No, I think we're gonna have an we want to have a town in here for the Slave Rebellion anyway. Assuming that the escalation is not helpful or they explore coastal or something. Disease E1. I mean, we could do E2 and preserve the disease there, really. Or E8. I guess Sweatlands is more useful in general because any successful build is a double build. Yeah, I do E8. Each beast, so it doesn't really matter the order. Clear card, Civil Unrest. On each board, add strife to a building and a land not matching a Ravage card. Oh boy. This is interesting. Very interesting. Uh-huh. Oh boy. Do you know what I'm thinking? Well, I don't know what lands I'm thinking, but I'm thinking this is obviously for Slave Rebellion. It does mean we're going to have to recalculate Favors Called Due and Harbingers. I really wish there was more Dahan there. This city is sad. Unfortunately, pretty much all these lands don't have Dahan in them, which is why it has to be consideration under Harbingers or Favors Called Due. So like if I click the city in A6, and then they build town and replace Explorer with town, we twisted Flowers a town, put Dahan in here, and then Slave Rebellion the other town, and then city, town, town turn into Dahan. Which is gorgeous. But then I don't really know where else to put the strife. I would love to click E5 for this. That was what I was hoping to do. Probably E2, and then I put Dahan in there and hope that... Because I can only get 2 Dahan in there, though. That's the problem. But I mean, I guess even if I can't convert the city, it will still be strifed and will still not deal damage in the Ravage and makes it easier to solve that land. So that and that. Okay, so then... Still have this cascade issue, and it's a presence lost for either lightning or shadows. And I probably want that shadows presence so I can make a sacred site, which I think I need for Twisted Flowers anyway. So you're going over there. And it's mountains. Ooh. That's kind of bad. It's too blight. I mean, A1 has to be the pick. E2? But I forgot there was a disease in there. They didn't build the town. Screwed up. Okay, so move the presents. And then do the thing. Am I doing the thing? Hold on. E2's kind of really screwed now. I think it makes more sense to put this Dahan in E5, honestly, because I can't really solve E2. We're not going to outnumber Dahan, so I'm not getting feared there. Guess I just push two things out from here. I have to push the town. I don't want to push the town. The reason I did that was so that this gets me fear card. I could then push these Dahan. Nope, that's not the right land. Man, I wish I could keep that town in there, though. Hold on. What did I undo? Harbingers. Okay, we could do... Oh, that move. Wait, I don't even know what I did. Undo. Okay, that undid shadows. Okay. Is it better to do shadows in E5? Maybe, because then I could do this. Oh, no, not me. Oh, this is me. Oh, crap. This is not the one I thought it was. Crap. Okay. Okay, so let's undo the presence movement, although I think I still have to do that for Twisted Flowers, so yeah, I think that has to be done. This is only Mountain Jungle. I could just generate fear. Oh, but it has to be a land with invaders, so I am literally forced to click A6. Is there any world where it's better to not push this Explore Town? I will not generate fear with favors called due. I will not generate fear off of shadows. So I'm missing out on 5 fear in exchange for killing a town, but... I feel like that's probably not worthwhile. So I hate it, but I guess I have to. It's probably not even worthwhile putting you in the wetland. It's also not worthwhile putting you in the jungle. Wetland is double build, but jungle is city build is blight, and that land's already blighted. Oh, I did it again. Yeah, it's just unfortunate as there's a wasted slave rebellion on board A, as I don't have any other land with towns in Dahan. And then this kind of has to go over here. And I don't know what I'm doing with E2. E2 is going to be a loss right now because if it cascades into E1, that cascades as if it had Blight. If it cascades in E3, it already has Blight, so that cascades. A triple cascade or a double cascade is loss. Vanish softly away only removes 2 explorers in E2. And then never forget the fact that A1's also an issue. Lightning's boon for crops wither. Doesn't do anything. I do not have the energy to gain a major. This doesn't hit explorers. Was I wrong in removing the deal damage to each explorer thing? Maybe. I lost the game because I clicked Raging Storm. Maybe I lost the game because I decided 12 energy was pretty sexy. Can't replay Twisted Flowers. I don't have energy. We will have at least 2 fear cards because the Slave Rebellion is generating 3 fear off of a 6 at least. And 1 fear over here. But I still have to somehow avoid the fact that we're blighting in 3 lands. Also, Lightning is only playing 2 cards. This is probably just Fear Card Trustfall, but it sucks because I don't really foresee enough Fear cards giving us enough things that deal with this. And even if we do survive the Ravage somehow, there's 10 towns being built. And then the escalation. I think this has to be a minor power over here that's super helpful. Defend 6? Would stop A1. Animated Rack Root is elements. Because lightning has to gain energy here. Like, I don't think there's a way where I don't gain energy here. It's probably just these powers. Gain a fire. Is there any... I guess I could gain 2 elements here and then gain another element of some sort. It's different elements, right? So I can't just click Moon. Nope. So yeah, I think it has to be Nature's Resilience to not immediately lose an A1. I mean, that's not even the land where we're losing in, but... Unfortunately, I can't target E2. Even if I move this presence over, it's not enough range. And then I'm forced to play Concealing Shadows as the other play. which case Lightning Spoon does nothing. So I do get Town Destroy here. This is Town Destroy. I can remove 2 Explorers in E5. Which means that we could cascade E2 into E5 and we don't lose there. I probably should then make this presence instead be a super stack here just to be safe. Because I think now this is defended. Destroy town. Destroy town. Move 2 explorers. Defend. Do that for fun. Don't think I need to move my presence. I don't think there's... I mean, I can't do anything in the slow phase anyway. Okay. Oh my god, a slave rebellion. Strive to any town, at least. Guess that one. Power fades. Each spirit chooses independently to destroy 2 of their presence, forget 2 of their powers, or take a blight from the blight card or remove it from the game. Sand Fever Outbreak. On each board, add disease to the sands or mountains with the most buildings. Offerings of Pattern and Dance. Each spirit with at least 2 Dahan among all its lands gains +1 energy. Probably forgetting, or destroying presence on both spirits. I don't really want to do that with lightning, but I don't really have a choice here. Forgetting 2 powers is really bad. Removing blight is bad when we're already so blight starved. Beset by many troubles, in each land with badlands, beasts, disease, wild, strife, or adjacent to 3 such tokens, defend 5. Oh, defend 5 there. Supply chains abandoned. On each board, isolate 1 land. If buildings are present, skip all build actions in that land. So now we went from 11 blight to 0 blight. Okay, we're still alive. Then just skip all build actions in A1 and E2. Okay. Jungle Explorer. Blighting here loses the game, so that has to be an E3, and then it kind of stinks everywhere. A city build is a blight. Moving a presence here is not helpful. Okay. Okay. I think this is Reclaim All on both. We have to solve E2 and A1 again. We can solve A1 the same way. E2, I am unsure. Let's do this. I can't afford all these powers. I spent all the energy. I've not been able to do much. Let's just gain a minor. I probably should have clicked major. I don't know. I don't know, man. I just work here. But this is losing us, this is losing us, this is losing us, that's fine. This is losing us, this is losing us. Literally, I guess technically that's not losing us. The other jungle bills are putting blight that cascades, and that I guess technically doesn't lose us, but okay. What to do? What to do? Guardian serpents for beasts? Eh. Probably gonna have to just be lightning's boonded and replace one of the towns with an explorer somewhere. E3 is probably the best bet, and then lightning doing lightning things in E7, although I have to do both of these lands. Ugh. Ugh. And I have to prevent E2. Ugh. Ugh. And I only have 2 plays. Ugh. Any world where I can hit Darkness Swallows, actually? Let's say I click Spur On for fun. Annoyingly, I need an air card that also has fire. As my current air cards don't have fire, and none of these have fire either, so I don't think that's happening. I'm clicking that one. I am not feeling very good right now, if you haven't noticed. Okay, that's the only solution for A1. Lightning Spoon for that is actually fine, as that would solve that. Yeah, there's no way to solve me E2 right now. I guess we Fear Card Trustfall again. We said we had to play this, right? Yeah, we had to play that. Even though I said it's Spur On, I think it's gonna be this. I'm gonna gain a fire. Put one more play over here. They ravage before they build. Maybe, oh no, but they don't. Even if we get fear off of this, it's not a fear card in between the ravage and the build stuff. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just going desperate over here. Surely though, favors called due into A1. It doesn't generate fear though. I guess if we're stopping, if we destroy that town, that town, that town, we don't get any jungle blight, and then the cascade in E2 goes into E5 like we were planning on. So we aren't actually losing. Getting a bit tight on towns, though. Although we are ditching 2 of those towns. Guardian Serpent's A8 next turn would be pretty decent, actually. So I probably want to get the Han in A8 then. It will be outnumbered, so that will be fair. Okay. And we could lower the town count by gathering an explorer out. Okay. Gain fire. Destroy. Destroy. Boon. Defend. Stop that. Go into wetland. What could possibly go wrong? If they explore wetlands, I guess we lose, but we're already losing to that over there. Gather those Dahan. Should I be careful about a singleton Dahan neighboring a city? Well, not much I can do about that now. Gather that explorer. Let's put presence in there. And lose. Dissolution threatens. Spirits are losing awareness and control of pieces of themselves. Hey, that's me. Each spirit chooses. Accept this fragmentation or focus your will towards wholeness. Destroy 2 presence, adding a wilds in place of each, or add 1 of your destroyed presence to 1 of your lands. But next turn, all your powers are slow and cannot be made fast. Cries and lightning. Explorer's Blunder. On each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. Lay ambushes. During Ravage, Dahan deal damage at the same time as invaders. Oof. Running out of presence here. My plan for A8 was to Guardian Serpents. So I can't actually make all my powers slow because I need that defend from Guardian Serpents. Lightning probably also needs everything to be fast because we have to solve the jungles again. So we're just destroying 2 presence from both spirits again. Why not? Why not? Wilds, wilds. Wilds, wilds. That doesn't do anything. Skip the next normal build. And the build card remains in place. Well, you know, I guess I don't need my powers to be fast in that case. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, I lost. Wait. 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 No. I'm stupid. No. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. I can't go back because I revealed the Fury card. I lose. I lose. I lose. Unfortunately, this is also my fault because I destroyed the last 2 lightning presences. If I had known they weren't building, though, then I would have totally just accepted my powers are going to be slow. But the presence of a spirit has completely disappeared, and the others cannot stop the invaders alone. 25 points, 0 for defeat, 18 for difficulty 9, 5 for the 5 remaining invader cards not in the deck, 7 for the remaining invader cards, for the invader cards that are just not in the deck, period. 7 for the 14 surviving Dahan, minus 5 for the 10 blight on the island. So what did we learn? Well, Numinous Crisis is a risk, is it not? We decided to gain 12 energy and flip the blight cards early. But the other option was sucky, wasn't it? We just didn't get the power escalation that we're hoping to get off of that. And then we spent all the energy we gained on Curse the Tongues, and then we had really bad Blighted Island effects. Early on, it's almost always right to take the energy. Yeah, that's... I understand that. I mean, I think it's just that it didn't pay off as much as I was hoping it would. I also had this option and I ended up second guessing it, but we had draw towards a consuming void on lightning that we could have gained, and instead I took unlock the gates, which ended up getting me vanish softly away, which did nothing, so that was a whiff. I probably should have just gone with consuming void, as that would have solved this board so good. I said at the time, oh, I don't think I'm going to lose right away if I do this, and then I got in a really bad situation. I made a bad judgment call. And then I screwed up here. This game could have lasted one more turn if I didn't lose all the presents there, but... Well, I guess next week we'll try round 3. I don't know why this scenario is so hard. I think we ultimately got screwed more by the jungle this game. I mean, Sans also screwed us and made us lose. This extra Explorer I don't think really hurt things that much. Yeah, it's bad for France, but I don't think it ultimately led to our loss. And Mutland's never built. I think it was just like turn 1. We had 2 jungles that had towns in them that were going to build a city, and I couldn't solve both of them right away, so then one of them built and then cascaded. Except I don't think it actually cascaded, did it? Did it? No, it didn't. I think surprisingly we didn't get that much blight from Ravages until the very end. I don't know. The takeaway is I am a bad Spirit Island player. No, I'm not. Just unfortunate. Well, I think we will try again next week. Third time's the charm, right? Third time was the charm for some other scenario. I forget which at this point. But yep, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your stay. Check out Handelabra Live tomorrow for previews of content before it is publicly available. And check me out next week for take 3 on varied terrains. Until then, have a good one.